If you want to know how to do this in your episode interactive story, then please keep on watching. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to allow your readers to input text on your screen. This is such a useful tool in episode interactive to help your readers feel engaged, feel a part of the story, and also just to, stimulate their minds a little bit, because I'm going to be showing you guys an example where they have to look for clues in order to unlock a password and they have to type the password in themselves. So let's get started. Okay, so the background I'm going to be using for today's video. Also, let me know if you guys like it if I type the entire scene out with you guys before I get to the actual tutorial, or if you want me to start with the scene already set up and then just show you guys what to do. I never know, but I personally like listening to keyboard sounds, which is why I choose to include it. But let me know in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to be using the library background, and the one I'm going to be using is this one, the int library shelves night. So I'm going to copy and paste it to line 1 of my script. And also, if you're new to my channel, I do have an episode interactive playlist on my channel where I've covered tutorials in the past and I've gotten good feedback on them. So go ahead, you can watch those, come back here. And a few people did actually ask me to do how to start the episode story in 2025, so I'm going to be doing that as well. Stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so the scene I want to set up is basically where Alice and James, which are like my test characters for my tutorials, where they are sneaking into the library because they want to get some question papers for their midterm. So they're basically sneaking in the library to get it, but they need a password to unlock a secret door. So it starts with them sneaking into the library, but before I do that, I'm going to add some music just to add to the vibes. I don't think you guys will be able to hear it when I preview it, just because of the mic that I'm currently using. I'm using a headset and not a normal mic, so I do apologize about that. But I'll try and preview it on my phone and then I'll show you guys with the music as well. Okay, so I'm gonna have Alice enters from left to screen right, and Alice is walk, sneak, loop, and I'm going to copy and paste this and do the same animations for James. Also, I did get a new keyboard, if you guys are wondering why it sounds so clickety clackety. Yeah, it's a mechanical keyboard. It's my first mechanical keyboard and I'm so excited about it. Okay, so I want him also to enter from the left, but he needs to end screen left, just so that they aren't standing on top of each other, if that makes sense. Okay, then I want Alice to face left. Alice faces left because they're going to start speaking to each other, and Alice can say, I'm going to have a talk worried, and she can say, okay, the door is over there. And then I'll have James talk sheepish, rub neck, and James can say, are you sure this is a good idea? Alice can talk point up pretentious and say, unless you have a better idea on how to ace the midterm. Also, just want to put in here, I'm not promoting anyone to steal question papers or anything. This is just for the video. Then James can take a deep breath and say, here goes nothing, I guess. Okay, so after that happens, I'm going to take them to the library door, which is this one. This is the one that I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to copy and paste the name like I've shown in previous tutorials on how to add the background to your script. And then I'll just copy the same entering code, copy and paste. So then Alice will start off talking and she can say, oh no, we need a password to open the secret door. And then James can do talk, shrug, concerned, And you can say we should look around. There must be a clue somewhere. Okay, then Alice can talk, point up pretentious again. And she can say, wait, I saw something in Miss Appleton's old office. Let's look in there. Then I'm going to take them to Miss Appleton's old office. So the background that I'm going to use for that is this one over here. Int abandoned goved office day. I wish there was a nighttime one, but I don't think there is. And the reason why I chose this background is because if you wanted to, you could use the code that's over here, but I'm using the code that's on the map. So the reader needs to take note of that code or of these words, and then that's the password. So I'm going to do the same entering code in the new background as well. And then James can say, hey, didn't Miss Appleton always talk about traveling? And then Alice will say, yes, maybe there's a clue on this map. Okay, so I'm just gonna add some animations here. Okay, so then I'm going to I'm just going to type in what I already figured out to get the camera to zoom in on this text. So I'm not going to show you guys that because I did do a tutorial on camera zooms and things like that. So I'll just do that quickly. Okay, so I did the camera zooms as well as I wanted them to be out of the frame so that you could see what's written on the map. And then after that, I'm going to add a reader message, which I did cover in my most recent video. I will tag it up below. But the reader message is going to say the password is in text form to give the readers a little bit more guidance. And then I'm going to have the camera pause for 10 seconds so that the readers have enough time to write down the text from the map or to take a screenshot or whatever the case may be. Obviously, it doesn't have to specifically be an instance like this where they're getting a clue from other background. It could be something like what color is the sky? You know what I mean? Like general questions, or you could give them other types of clues. Okay, then I'm going to do a zoom reset so that the camera zooms back out, and then I will place my characters on the screen again quickly. Okay, so at the beginning I told you guys that I did add some music. So at this point I'm going to turn the music off. I'm just going to write music off because I'm going to add a sound effect with your footsteps. So I'm going to do sound quiet footsteps, and then James is going to react shocked, and Alice will also be shocked. And then she can say, someone's coming, quick, hide. And then yeah, I'll bring the music back in. So I use the music mischief, and then I'll have them run off screen. So Alice exits right, and Alice is run athletic neutral loop, and James exits right, just so that they're doing it at the same time. And then James will also be run athletic neutral loop. At this point, instead of coding a whole other scene of them hiding out, whatever, I'm just going to add a transition to fade out to black, and then I'll bring them back to the library door that's closed that they need to figure the password out for. So the library, it's this one. I'm just going to paste it here. Okay, so then I'm going to already just have them standing on the screen again. Then Alice will take a deep breath and say, phew, that was close. James will say, too close. I told you this was a bad idea. We almost got caught. Then Alice will say, but we didn't. And she can say, now did you see what the password was? James will think, talk, think, corruption, and say, I think it was ... Okay, so here's where the actual tutorial for today's video comes in. I'm going to preview everything up until this point before we start coding how to add the input box and what happens after that. Okay, so here's where we're gonna add the input box. So the way that you do it is you write the word input, add a space, and then you write what you want the input box to say. So in this case, it's going to say, what's the password? Okay, so this is what the box is gonna say. Then you add a space, then you put one of these lines there, and then you just put the same text, but just make sure that you're copying the same text over there. Add a space, add another line, and then you can write the word done, or you can write the word got it, whatever you want. But whatever happens after this next line is what the button's gonna say. So we can just write the word done, add a space, add brackets, and inside the brackets you're gonna give a code name to what you want the password to be saved as. For example, you could write the word password, it's just a variable name. You could write the word code, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to leave it as pass. Okay, so it's the word input space, what's the password, add a line, what's the password again, add a line, then what you want your button to say, and then a name for the password variable. At the bottom you're going to write the word if, add brackets, and then you're going to use whatever you named the information that the user is going to input. So in my case it's the word pass, so I'm going to write if pass is, and then put in some quotation marks, and now I'm going to write the correct password. So if it is the Delta Isles, then we're going to add a set of curly brackets, and what must happen if the user actually entered these exact words. Now you must remember that it is case sensitive, so if they only capitalize the T of the word the, but they don't capitalize the D of Delta or the I of Isles, then it's going to be considered incorrect. But I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. After the set of curly brackets, I'm going to write the word elif, open another set of brackets, and write pass is. Now you want to add a whole bunch of other options for the way that the user might input the text in terms of the case. So for example, if they just capitalize the capital T of the word the, but everything else is in lowercase, you need to create an option for that. So if it's the Delta Isles, open another set of curly brackets, then I'm going to write elif again and repeat the process. Let's say they don't capitalize anything and they write it like this, it still needs to be considered correct. Sorry. Another set of curly brackets, and they could also possibly put it in all caps. So let's create an option for that. If pass is the Delta Isles in all caps, curly brackets. Then we're going to write the word else. So if the user inputs anything else, then whatever happens between these curly brackets must take place. If the user enters the words the Delta Isles in this format, then I'm going to use this background where the door actually looks open, or the door is open. So it's this one. I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm going to have them stand in front of the open door, and Alice will start the conversation. You can be applauding and say, "Excellent. Let's go ace that midterm." And then that's what's going to happen if it's correct. So now we want the same things to happen if the user still answers correctly, but they just spelled it differently. So instead of copying and pasting all of this, we can create a label, which I did do another tutorial on. So I'm just going to do label password underscore correct. Then I'm going to copy and paste all of this. Actually, I'm going to cut it, paste it under here. And then if they get it correct, we're just going to go to this label, go to password underscore correct. And I'm going to copy and paste that under every instance where the password is correct, which is all of these. Okay, then if the password is incorrect, they still need to be standing outside of the closed door, which is this one. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'll just copy and paste them standing outside. And I'm going to add a sound effect where the alarm goes off. So I'm going to use alarm underscore danger. James will be reacting shocked, and then Alice will also be shocked. And she'll say, "Oh no." Okay, so that's what's going to happen. If they input the text or input the password correct, it'll go to this label over here. And if they answer it incorrectly, the alarm will go off and they'll kind of be screwed. Okay, so let's preview it from where they've come back after they went hiding, which is over here. So yeah, that's basically how to add an input box into your story. I hope you guys have learned from this. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.